Thank you very much for this opportunity. I thank Sandburg College for hosting it. Thank the Commission for coming in here. I thank every witness. Wow, what a tremendous testimony. You put it in perspective. You outlined it. Certainly established the need and seriousness in very touching and emotional way. I was having difficulty emotionally too. They're hearing some of these. And every one of you, I could cite some tremendous things that you said. But did Maurice leave?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
First, I'd say to him, wow, thanks for beating the statistics. And he raised the question. He said, what would it cost if you didn't stay, if he became one of those statistics? And the latest figures I've seen to keep someone in corrections, we're up to around $18,000 to $20,000 a year. A lot cheaper to keep them in school, give them opportunity. And the figures I've seen, 85% of all inmates lack any positive male role model in the family. And about 85% of them are high school dropouts. So his point was right on, provide the needs. And he and everyone he represents, we need to encourage and make sure that they stay and help accommodate that. Again, I can say something about every one of your comments. To the Johnsons, is that right? There's one point that you said that I want to disagree with, though. You made the comment, you're not being, I think you said, not contributing to society. Oh, yes, you are. The kind of parents you obviously are. The kind of goals that you've obviously set for yourself. By the way, would you invite me to your graduation? You become a nurse. And when you get your engineering degree, because I want that to happen. And you keep on. Don't lose sight of that. You are very much contributing members of society. And I know you made that comment, but you already have it. So, and I was touched by every one of your comments. We go back October 14th for veto session. We're in for 2 weeks. There's a chance that this issue will be brought up then. I hope it will be. I hope we can put some definite resolution to it at that time. Some of the things that have been laid out there now, and my colleague Representative Myers, I'm so glad he was here too. We both had constituents speaking. We work together all the time. House Bill 4622 is a bill that we're both co-sponsoring, and it's one that provides for tax amnesty that would cause big payments to be made on overdue taxes. The precedent has been set, and this would bring in significant, I think the estimate is a little over $100 million on that bill that would be put in and be designated for MAP grants. That's a bill that's out there. That's a real possibility, something being done to address the situation. Another one, I believe the governor does still have some discretionary. He had $1.2 billion in some discretionary funding, and last I knew, not all of that was committed. I don't think it is, and hopefully some of that would be committed. The third thing the governor has proposed, of course, an additional cigarette tax, $1 a pack, for funding of MAP grants, and I think that should be looked at. Keep in mind that a tax like that can actually be a decreasing revenue, and our colleagues that are anywhere near the state line tell us it runs business out of their communities. A place like you get up to Rock Island, Moline, it will cause business to go over to the other side, to Iowa, and all around the state. So you raise that tax, and it probably would cause a fall off in purchases in Illinois. Now, if it reduces smoking, that's a positive thing. But if it drives business across state lines, then that can be counterproductive. I only mention it that there are 3 things that are out there, 3 ideas that will be mentioned, be talked about. I hope there might even be some others, because this is serious. This is important. And the group of witnesses here today put this in such eloquent terms, and you put faces on some cold statistics, that they're not just budget cuts, and they're not just statistical information. It's real people and really impacting them. Again, you touched me very much. Lincoln, obviously, always seemed to have a way of getting things in perspective and came up through very difficult times. And just think, if Abraham Lincoln had not got an education, and it wasn't a given that he was going to get an education. In fact, of the opinion that it's only because he had a very supportive stepmother that Abraham Lincoln got an education, learned to read, albeit rather informal education, but at least he learned to read. He eventually became a lawyer. But what if he hadn't? Greatest president we've ever had. And it wasn't a given he was even going to be able to read. Lincoln got that in perspective. He said, I will study and prepare myself. And obviously with education is what you're doing, study and prepare. He said, I will study and prepare myself, and someday my chance will come. And he did, and it did. And thank goodness our nation survived because of him. He also said upon the subject of education, I view it as the most important subject that we as a people can be about. There's no doubt that Lincoln considered education important. I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge there is a very difficult budget in the state of Illinois, very difficult times. I think it would be good to acknowledge for 6 budgets in a row, I have voted no under Governor Blagojevich because they were unbalanced budgets. They were deficit budgets. The deficit was building. And the majority party chose to go ahead and pass them anyway. So this has been building. It's catching up to us now. And as you're watching, I hope you were watching when the majority party passed 6 deficit budgets. Does that make an excuse? No. We still have to solve it. And I certainly want to deal with solving the problem. But we should not have had 6 negative budgets either. It should have been addressed a lot sooner. With what I heard here today from the witnesses, I start to say students, some of them were actually staff too, from the students. Our state, our country has a very bright future. Tremendous comments from every one of you. Thank you for hosting this. Thank you for the opportunity to come. We're going to continue to work together, and we'll get there. Thank you.